So we are going to cover stacked bar chart, and on the basic stacked bar chart, we are going to improve some functionality. So what is stacked bar chart if we have to, get to know? So this is what a stacked bar chart looks like. We have the bars and they're colored based on different, say, dimensions like region or different components. But what is happening in this bar chart is we are able to compare the total sales. Like we know that 2019 has the maximum sales, but to say 2017 has the least sales. And we are also able to compare this light blue region, but we are not able to compare the other ones. So this is something which causes a bit ambiguity if we have to compare the component wise split, how it's happening. So we are going to add a little functionality into this bar chart so that we are able to compare the different regions or different components in which the colors have been broken into. So this, what we'll be doing is, if we select a particular region or a particular color, that color will go to the bottom, touch the baseline, so that they start from the same base, and we are able to compare the heights and get a better idea of how the trend is over the particular color, whichever the color falls for. So we'll start it on Tableau. So I'm using the sample superstore data and taking the orders from it. So we'll take the dimension, say sales. We want to compare sales on the rows, and we add order date on the columns. So we'll see how the trend is over the sales for the sales, and we compare the mark type to bar, and say we put region to color. So we see that 2012 has the maximum sales and 2014 has the least sales. And if we are to compare for the West, which is the bottom one, we see that this has the highest. But if we want to compare for these blue ones or these orange ones, we do not have a very good idea of which has the maximum, which is the lowest, or which are the top 3 or top 2, these things like that. So what we'll do is we'll be creating a set of the color, like the region is the one that is making the color. So we'll create a set for the region. And if we click on a region, this will add that region to the set, and we'll do sorting. So if we want the color to be at the bottom, the one thing we can do is we can sort the columns and make sure it goes to the bottom so that we can see how the trend is. But for it to go to bottom, we need to change some functionality so that it has some higher value of sorting. So first we'll start with creating a set. So we'll create a set for regions. I'm not selecting any value here because this will change on the fly. So we have this region set. So now we have to take care of the sorting order. So I create a calculated field for sorted stack chart. So what I'll do is, if the region lies in the region set, so I'll give it a very high number, larger than any sales value, so that it goes to the bottom. So if say I take a number, say 1 billion. Otherwise, if it lies in the set, this will give a very big number. Otherwise, it will give the value of the sales. So we'll sort the region based on this calculated field. So once this field is created, we'll put sort on the color mark. So we'll sort it based on the field, and the field, it will sort it based on the field we just created, that is the sorted stack chart. So this is done. So we can now make it, we can go create a new dashboard. We can bring the sheet here. So now we need to add some actions so that it behaves as we want it. So first we'll creating the action on the set, so that if when we select this set, this region, it will, this say south, if I select south, then it should go to the set, and similarly for the others. And if I, click, if I empty it, then I should have the functionality of removing all the elements from the set. So I'll create an action, change set values. So the target set is the region set that we created. So running the action will add values to the set. And if I clear the selection, this should remove all the values from the set as I just discussed. So what is, let's see, if I select east, so we see that we get this functionality that the east goes to the bottom and we can easily compare the east. Similarly, if I select west, it goes to the bottom. But another thing missing here is that I'm only able to see this west and the rest is not highlighted. But I want all of the west from all the years to be highlighted. So I need to add a highlight action. So I'll again put another action. So I want to highlight on selected fields, that is the region. So now if I click on west, west goes to the bottom and it's highlighted and we can see a good trend. And if I click on south, this goes to the bottom. And if I select about like in the empty space, the set gets empty and it goes to the default value and we can again start over again. So this gives a better idea of how the sales over the south compares. This is basically the same stack chart, but we have added more functionality by making it dynamic, adding a little bit of action so that it's more intuitive to the user, so of how the different regions compare. So this was what I wanted to cover from this stack bar chart. And another thing, since we have time, I would also like to cover some of another concept on dynamic bin size. So the bins that we create for a histogram, the Tableau gives a very default value. So I want to let's get to know how this default value is created, and so that if it required, we may want to change it based on the requirement. Because see, this is say a histogram, but if we select a particular subcategory, it gives somewhat very vague data. But because this is the default one that goes, and we'll dive into how the default setting is. So this is how the bin size is calculated. That is the max value minus min value divided by the number of bins. And this is the formula for the number of bins where this we calculate it. And the thing to be noted here is we'll also use an LOD to make sure that it works across all levels. So by using this is the functionality, and this is the calculation that goes behind, just so that we know how it is calculated. So number of bins are calculated and then the difference, and we divided the difference by the number of bins and we get the bin size. And this fixed LOD is used here. And we can create a bin on the updated field and the histogram would be there. And this is dynamic, and this is how we can get to know like how the histogram functions, the basic bin sizing. So this is all I wanted to cover for today. Any questions on the stack bar charts or how it was functioning?
Hi Anmol. So like in the stack bar chart, we selected a single region. So what if we select we select multiple regions? So will
If
it combine those two or? Yeah.
it will take both of them to the bottom.
Okay, and and it compare for both the two of them, right?
Yes, we can select
It'll
control.
highlight the latest selected. Yeah, but
Yes,
it'll pull both to the bottom.
Okay,
yes. So
okay,
you can select control and select both of them.
okay.